So today we're going to talk about branding. Why branding as a real estate professional is extremely important. In my opinion, there's three different aspects of branding that you need to keep in mind. It's personal branding and differentiation, consistency across all platforms, and lastly, but I think is actually the most important, it's client experience. So let's start with personal branding and differentiation. When you're doing a personal branding, you just have to be very specific with what you want to achieve. If you want to work in the luxury market, you have to have a personal brand that resonates with that type of client. If you work, let's say you work a rural area, you want a personal branding that works with that as well. When it comes to being different than any other agents, you have to be able to explain to the client and or future client what makes you different than every other realtor. Everyone knows there's so many realtors, but what sets you apart is how you brand yourself, how you carry yourself, and how others look and speak about you. The most important thing to me when it comes to differentiation is being able to actually speak out your differences. And that speaks to your branding as well as your work ethic, your marketing, as well as your results. Next, consistency across all platforms. Whether you're on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, you have to come across as a branding expert, which, could be easy, could be difficult depending on if you have the confidence in speaking on video and or even putting out content that you feel passionate and strongly about. But you have to be consistent with your messaging. For example, myself, I want to speak to, let's call it the top 1% of earners. In order for me to do that, I have to know my market. I have to understand what's going on with mortgages and lending. I have to understand the stock market. I have to understand their habits. So obviously when you're dealing with, let's say, a 1% earner, they're going to have an idea of what's going on in the markets and how it affects real estate. To get a little bit deeper, you have to be a knowledge expert in the area you want to work and or the market you already work. So if you already work in a market and you're doing really, really well, you have a leg up. That's a very strong benefit that you have over a lot of people who are starting fresh. If you're looking to break into a new market, you have to know that market inside and out. Off-market sales, coming soon, what's for rent, who's moving where. That type of knowledge is going to differentiate yourself from everyone. And that brings you back to being the same across all platforms. It really, truly does make a difference. And last but certainly not least when it comes to branding, client experience. That doesn't just mean you give them a water bottle when you get to the showing. It means from how you initially meet them, your follow-up, how you book showings, whether you send them a calendar invite, whether you give them your seller package, your buyer package, it all correlates. And when a client's going through with you and they want to make sure that you're the expert that they work with, they want to get the best experience possible. Or else why would they hire a realtor? The key is making sure that you're consistent to not just that client, but every client that they refer you, you show them that A+, that AAA service, and you make sure you're giving them an experience that, in my opinion, is hard to beat. So for example, when I'm meeting a new client for the first time, they know a couple of things about me. One, I'm going to know the product that we're going to see. Two, I'm going to understand what's been sold, what's been listed, who the agents are, and the type of clients that are in this area. They're also going to understand that I'm working for them 24/7. My only goal is to ensure they are taken care of. The better job I do for them, the better chance I'll have of getting, that Google review, which may lead to more referrals. So really, how I like to give the client experience is from A to Z, you're getting the best possible service. And once that transaction closed, I'm going to do something that's in line with my brand. So for me, I love wine. I love showcasing vintage wines, whether it's from France, whether it's from California. I want to ensure you enjoy a beautiful bottle of wine. You get to go out with dinner with your spouse and you just enjoy yourself, right? I want to make sure that when you first met me to when you close, and even years afterwards, you remember the quality of service I gave you. And that is why branding is so important. It takes you from A to Z, and it allows you to align with your clients' needs and expectations. And if you want to be a better salesperson in general, branding is extremely important. There's a reason why you go buy let's say a Louis Vuitton product over going to, let's say, Macy's to buy something. It's not that the leather is any different. It's because of the name and the branding. And that's what we should focus on as entrepreneurs. Focus on branding, and everything else will work itself out.